Alright, and welcome back. I am Bahamut, your caster, and here we go into this first matchup of the evening. We have Dehakab Kidding Me versus Elusive Gaming. Now, this is what I think this is Division 1, so we're going to be going into Infernal Shrines, a very popular map in the current rotation for a lot of the games that are being played in Chair League. It offers a lot to just draft wise. There's a lot of options you can go. There's definitely a lot of things you can do. There's a hover on Sonya. She is a good brawler on these shrines, but I don't know if she's first ban worthy. Typically on a map like this, we see things like Dehakab. He is prioritized on this map due to the fact that he has just a really good wave clear, the global threat, he can push up a lane and then Z in. So if maybe this is just them trying to potentially get a specific pick, maybe Garrosh here, just throwing out the Sonya. Excuse me, actually this is Division 3. So we're actually going to see the ban on Sonya. Now they could be going into something... And sorry, here, Physio. I juked you a little bit. There was a little bit of a delay on the start, but we got everybody in here on time, and we are going. Looks like we're going to have a ban onto the Uther here as well.
We will forge a
We're
great
actually going to have
destiny.
a first pick Varian coming out here. Varian hasn't been... I haven't seen a lot of Varian play. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for stopping by, Hero. Varian actually being picked up first here offers a lot to a team. That's actually really interesting that they'd go into that as a first pick. I'm curious to see if we're going to see a Garrosh here. I think I casted Tuesday a Garrosh game, and that was difficult. Just the displacement you get with him is phenomenal. But these first two pickups here on the side of Dehakab Kidding Me. We just saw a Varian first pick, so it's just throwing me off a little bit. Personally, for the first two, I would maybe get something like a Stitches into a Kael'thas, maybe. You can get the Wave Clear, the Shrine Clear is a good fighter. You can pull probably the Rhaegar out of position, but we're actually going to see the Dehakab and the Ariel being picked up here. Okay. So there's that priority onto the Dehakab that I was thinking about earlier. It's just the Variant. I was just so surprised by that. Either way, though, we do have these last two picks before we go into our next ban phase. So with the Variant, typically we see something like a healer comboed with a maybe a range damage dealer. That is the pairing that we typically see. That way, when you go into your last two picks, you can kind of flex on them a little bit, be a little bit more adaptive with your draft that way. So you're not kind of cornering yourself into your last two picks as being maybe like a secondary tank and a healer. So personally, with the Ariel out, the Uther being banned, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Rhaegar here. But then again, they could honestly go into like a Tassadar Valhalla. Okay, so they're going to go into Stukov, actually. Hi, chat. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the games. We're in our first game of the evening, potentially of 6 if everyone goes to a game 3. We have another series at 8 p.m. PST after this one, so we'll be sticking around in between games probably. But we do have the Stukov into the Vala here, and I like the Stukov because he does have the zoning for the shrines. The silence is going to be pretty powerful, especially up against this Ariel. Now, on the side of Dehakab Kidding Me, if I was looking at the ban currently, I don't think they're going to solo with the Varian, so maybe banning out a Bruiser might be helpful. Even honestly, banning out a Garrosh might be pretty beneficial. You could honestly, and I'm just randomly theory crafting, but you could take the Garrosh, do the pull and do the flip, then Stukov could combo that in with either the swipe or the massive shove. So I don't know, it's just like something, it'd be kind of interesting. Like you get the flip and then you just have the massive shove because Stukov typically will be in your back line so he would be prepared to kind of put that out. But either way, we're going to see the Anubrak being banned out here. Not a bad idea at all. Maybe hinting that their composition will be picking up something like a Li Ming soon. So they want to make sure they get rid of that Nubarian armor. Now, on the side of Elusive Gaming, they're looking to ban out the Gul'dan. And the reason Gul'dan is looking to be is being hovered here is Vala's already picked up. Typically, you run the Vala Ariel. Another combination of that, especially on a map like this, where you have... and you need good shrine clear. Something like the Ariel Gul'dan is a really, really good combination. So banning that out could maybe throw the draft off for Dehakab Kidding Me, but you never know. They realistically could have something already else in mind, and the Gul'dan it wasn't even an option. But that will be banned out, and I like that. I like that. That was a good pick, or at least a good ban. That's okay. So we're going to be going into our last bit of the draft here. On the side of Dehakab Kidding Me, they've got an Ariel, they've got a Dehaka, which means that they're not going to be soloing with him, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see these next two picks being something that goes well with the Ariel, as well as something that goes well with the Dehaka. Now, okay, so I'm thinking you'd go with the Lunara, that would pair well with the Ariel, then you could technically go for the Greymane. The Cursed Bullet would be pretty good. He's a good Shrine Fighter. And then your last pick, you can kind of flex on a tank. Arthas would be preferred here. Stitches is an option. Looks like they're going to go into the Tassadar as well. Justice. And it's really good drafting on the side of Dehakab Kidding Me. Taking away that Tassadar means that they can't really pair that with the Vala. And that is something that we do see since the Ariel's already gone. Usually you might want to pick up that off-healer Tassadar. He also has really good Shrine Clear, Wave Clear, and the Force Wall pairs well with the Ariel Whip too. So it's looking to be a pretty deadly draft on the side of Dehakab Kidding Me. Now they are really focusing on having that one hyper carry Lunara, but as long as they keep her protected with the two healers, they should be fine. I don't see a reason why not. Thanks to Regen for watching. These last two picks, I honestly think they're going to go... I think an Arthas or a Stitches wouldn't be a bad idea here. And I think they maybe a Greymane with that as well. They're going to go Zool. Okay. Zool has really good wave clear, good push on this map. But that means they're going to solo with the... Well, no. They're going to solo with the Stukov, which should be fine completely, but they're going to have... Their main damage is going to be Vala, so she's going to have to play safe. And the one thing that I'm a little afraid of is if Stukov can get the healing to counter the Lunara poison. That's going to be the interesting thing. I haven't played enough games with Stukov to kind of know. Or played against enough Stukov played against Stukov in enough Lunara games. But as I was saying before, Dehakab Kidding Me, they're probably going to be going into their main tank, and it won't be Sergeant Hammer, unfortunately. But it probably... I'm thinking you would want to go into the Arthas here. Good Shrine Fighter. He's got the Army of the Undead, which provides a little bit of sustain for him in these fights. Yeah.
The Crusade
okay, they're going to go for the Johanna. Johanna does provide the blind up against the Vala, which Ariel has the blind as well. I'm not a support player, so I really need to look into these things, but Twitch chat will know. The Ariel slap, is it built into blind, or is that a talent you have to pick up? I think it's a talent, but I'm not 100% on that. Either way, we are going into our first game here between Dehakab Kidding Me and Elusive Gaming. Okay, on the left-hand side, we have Carthon on Lunara, Deckerbro on Dehaka, Casey Strom on Ariel, Warmonger on Joanna, Cabo on Tassadar. That is Dehakab Kidding Me. And on the right-hand side, we have Dead Fox Dan on Stitches, Dragonfear on Zool, Keldus on Stukov, I Like Men on Varian, and Skeptic on Vala. That is Elusive Gaming. So typically on this map, we see a lot of people doing the solo laner in top, and then you have a 4-man rotation between mid and bottom, since it's not as short as doing the same thing on the mid and top rotation with Tomb of the Spider Queen, but it does. It's quick enough where you can go ahead and do that as long as you're clearing the wave and just rotating. You're not really taking any of these fights. You can definitely do pretty well there.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
So here we go into this map. We are going to have some of these first level picks. So speaking of the solo lane in top, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Dehakab going up against the Zool. That kind of makes sense to me, but then again, you could run...
The battle begins in 10 seconds.
Because you could run the Zool
5,
differently.
4,
he would get a little bit more value rotating mid and bottom for those rotations. Okay, so thanks, Panda.
Battle begin.
Panda has confirmed it is actually a talent that she has to pick up. What level, that we'll figure out. Either way, we're going into our first game here. It looks like they're gonna go on the side of Dehakab Kiddin. They're gonna try and see if maybe there's this mid fight, but Elusive Gaming is just gonna be hiding out in top currently, trying to kind of do the same thing. Now I'm wondering if they're waiting to see if the Dehakab will. So they're gonna go ahead and just clear the wave. They show on map, and then the rest of the team knows to just kind of rotate away. Looks like Tassadar will be rotating into bottom against the Zool. We have going up against. Looks like the Dehakab Kiddin is not too sure how to go for this engagement, but Elusive Gaming does go ahead and steal away one of the towers during this time. Now we do have the Zool actually making those rotations we talked about, so it looks like they're going to do a 4-man in top and have the Zool rotate between mid and bottom. Try and keep an eye on his health. Sorry if this is death, but this is where all the action should be. We do have a silence coming out from Dehakab. This variant trying to get onto this Lunara, doing a really good job with it. But Ariel is getting a lot of value from the Lunara auto attacks and being able to keep that full bar up real high. The blinds are going to come out, and that's... I agree with the pick for Joanna to have that in the kit, so that you are kind of crippling the team, and that Vala isn't getting the hyper carry damage that she needs. But at the same time, it's I think it's like a 16-second cooldown, so that's a little bit of time. They're actually getting a significant amount of damage out onto Joanna, but she will pop her Iron Skin and get healed up. It looks like she'll walk away. After all that healing and Iron Skin, she'll walk away with the same amount of health. We are going to be having a... looks like she'll stay. But at the same time, that Zool not missing a beat. Looks like they're just barely behind on experience on the side of Elusive Gaming. But that Zool doing a really good job of rotating through those lanes with clears. And he's actually kind of holding the Dehakab down there. Now, at the same time, Dehakab can just burrow at any moment up into this top lane. That's something that Elusive Gaming needs to be aware of, because Dehakab Kiddin can go for an aggressive flank once they start to go in on the shrine. But it looks like Zool's going to go ahead and rotate up through the mid, get that clear as well, and then come into the rest of the team. So at this point, we do just pretty much, we have a standoff. These guys don't want to overextend against one another, but we do have the variant going in here. We have a ton of damage coming out on this Joanna. She does pop her Iron Skin. Looks like the rest of the team will back away. The shoots from Tassadar just creating a huge armor bar there for her. We do get the roll from the Joanna. They are starting to go in on this Lunara and this Tassadar. The dimensional shift does come out. He will be able to back away without a problem. Now the hook does go out onto him. There is no dimensional shift. At the same time, he does hold himself, and it looks like he'll be able to get away without a problem. I will say this, though, in the meantime, it looked like Zool actually laned up a little bit more in mid, and he hasn't made that rotation just yet. So this is just a brawl currently in top. Mana bars are starting to get a little bit low for both teams. Tassadar falling extremely low himself. You actually have the first kill of the game. First kill of the game is a double kill. Vala being able to get that multi-shot off and kill the Lunara and Joanna. And with that, it gives them almost a level lead. Dimensional shift at the last second. Gives them about a level lead here. About a half a level lead. But definitely, this shrine is going to be going over to Elusive Gaming. They are a little bit low on mana, but a couple regen globes and just kind of holding their talents will help them out a little bit here. Blinding Flash is level 13. Center of the Sacred Sweep. Thank you, Panda. Thank you for finding my talents for me. But it looks like this is going to be 7 on the side of Elusive Gaming. Dehakab Kiddin needs to play this a little bit safe. They don't want to... 7s aren't the biggest power spike in the world, but at the same time, they don't want to be giving up a kill because that could potentially be more than just a gate. The jump does go over, but unfortunately the gate was so weakened at that first moment of the game. It looks like the Tassadar will get the dimensional shift off. Punisher being baited over between these 2 towers is exactly what you want to do. By pulling it there, you're getting the double shots. They do lose their well. Joanna will be falling here to the Vala multi-shot. The whip does go back, and they actually get the pull onto the RL. The self-heal is there. The shields from Tassadar, and they get the extra kills. So that's going to be, during this phase, they got 4 kills and a fort. So this game is starting to really be controlled on the side of Elusive Gaming. Now, Dehakab Kiddin, they have really good soap currently with this Dehakab, but they're not getting the team fight value out of him because he's just being forced back by the Zul constantly, and this Zul is just, he's kind of just doing whatever he wants, and I really like that. But we have the fight up here in top. There's blind from the Joanna. The lurking arm just providing so much like zoning, and they actually get Vala once again. Just getting so much value out of that. I think that was the Hungering Arrow that time. But it looks like with that camp being hooked up, they're going to go ahead, rotate into mid, and push into this a little bit further. It looks like Zul actually already finished his level 4 tower. But we're going to go ahead and see this camp being picked up on the side of Elusive Gaming. And this is just really good because what they're doing is they're not laning themselves too far forward. Good hook onto the Tassadar there. He will be able to dimension shift away. There's the crossing smash, and they will be getting that kill as well. But what I wanted to note is the thing that I really like what they're doing right now is instead of just kind of pushing in to the towers extremely hard, they're just pushing up the waves. They're not... they're just playing the safe game. They're seeing where the enemy team is on the map. They're going to go ahead and get a camp that's far away from them. They're going to let that push up, and they're just pushing up the waves constantly, creating all this pressure that looks like Kiddin can't really get an answer to, and they will get that kill into the Dehakab right as this altar is being started, and it looks like they're going to be able to chase down the Joanna as well. The bone person does look out onto her. A ton of damage going out as well, and that is going to be the Joanna falling with the Dehakab right as the shrine starts. They get the hook onto the Tassadar. The dimensional shift does come out. Don't believe. Yep, that is. They're going to go ahead and get this fort, and it looks like Zul is going to go ahead, push up this wave, and start the altar. No, he's actually just going to go to top and lane some more. Never mind. So at this point, Lunara just trying to do her best to make sure that this mid wave is not pushed in too hard. And since they have almost 13s, it looks like Elusive Gaming is just being extremely aggressive and saying, you can have the altar if you want to take it, but you're going to have to respond to us. And this is going to be a potential heat push. So I had noted that I wasn't sure about Stukov being able to heal against this Lunara, but I am being completely proven wrong. He is doing a phenomenal job, as you probably saw some of these numbers, 31,000 healing. Vala actually being pulled out there and will be killed, so that is going to be the first kill going over to Dehakab Kiddin, and that is a little bit of a tempo shift, but at the same time, we do have 13s on the side of Elusive Gaming, so they hold the talent advantage as well as the level advantage. Zul doing a little bit of work here. Dehakab will be able to burrow in. He will have to back off. He doesn't want to stagger any more deaths, as well as feed any more experience to the enemy team. It looks like he's going to be with his team once this Vala's up and they get this camp. I don't think they'll be able to burn this down in time when Vala's actually going to be able to enter the fight, so looks like we will have another one. Another engagement before this Immortal and Punisher, I actually mean. Tongue does go out onto the Zul top. But there's so much damage going out into the Lunara. She'll actually be falling here. Dehakab trying to get the damage in. They're actually the Joanna trying to zone the team. She will be running away at this point. So much damage coming out from that Zool and the the Varian getting that kill. The hook does go out onto the Ariel. They will not be able to have the follow-up damage, but the Force Wall will kind of zone them away at the last second. Joanna being killed as well. And this is going to be another Punisher going over to Elusive Gaming. Vaulting forward, they're trying to get a little bit of damage up. The hook does go out onto the Arl. The Bone Prism's there. There is actually Crystal Aegis onto her, and she will fall as she comes out of the Crystal Aegis. These steps are already out. And with this Punisher being 85% full, it looks like they're going to try and burn this gate down before the Punisher gets to it. No, the jump isn't actually there, so they don't get the bait over the gate. Varian actually dives through the wall. They get the kill onto the Dehaka. There's Tassadar falling so low there, but he will be able to get away. Zenara just trying to poke some of his damage out. There is actually the jump onto the Joanna, who will be dying here as well. And this could potentially be a death march for the core. We do have 10 seconds on Dehaka, 18 on Joanna. There's a decent amount of damage going out there, but there's hook out from the stitches. That will be the Ariel falling. Force Wall does separate the team for a second. Punisher does jump out onto the Lunara. There is the Dehaka currently coming back, but it looks like the rest of the team of Elusive Gaming will be going on to this core. There is the Poison Nova from the Zool, and this looks like the GGs are called out. First game going over to Elusive Gaming. GG, well played. All right, in the meantime, we're going to hang out, and I don't have my asset completely up yet, but we will be, we'll have a little screen tear there soon, be able to share the stats. I just don't want to show messages, because that way you guys don't see all the background production stuff. But looking at these compositions, the Zool honestly was the MVP of this game. I mean, he wasn't there. I mean, not to like take anything away from Vala. Like she had 9 kills, 7 assists. I mean, amazing play from the Vala. But the Zool, like the lane pressure that he was just putting out was phenomenal. And at the same time, he held that Dehaka back for so long that they weren't able to use their Dehaka as like an ambusher or just like he wasn't able to perform the role that he was meant to. So that's the hard part for this composition. Now the Tassadar Force Walls did yield that kill onto the Vala at that one point. Unfortunately, they just really couldn't get any momentum on their side with that. That's a little bit of a bummer though. But that's Stukov. Wow. Stukov doing 50,000 in healing versus the Ariel there, who just unfortunately wasn't able to get enough healing out because of the fact that just her members were just getting picked off. They had a really strong composition on the side of Elusive Gaming. Once again, thank you so much for watching, by the way. I am Bahamut. You can actually hit ! commands in the Twitch chat, and it'll give you all the commands for the channel. We have a couple. There's like one for Twitter, one for YouTube, and a special one for everyone else. But we are currently getting the lobby set up. I'm going to go ahead and update some of our assets over so that the cheer league thing corrects itself. Looks like we just got to update the map. All right. Cool. So that's all set. We're just waiting on 2 of the players to get in. But yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think of that game? There was a lot of control and a lot of... They had a draft in mind and they executed it 100% on the side of Elusive Gaming. And it was almost like they controlled the draft. They were like, if we get these things, we can just win on this map. So that's, I think, what they honestly did. All right, looks like we are ready. We're going to be going into the game here or the draft, excuse me, in a second here. Just waiting to hit the button. All switch it up. So we're going into Towers of Doom this game. First game, by the way, if you missed out, Elusive Gaming took the first game on Infernal Shrines. So it looks like Dehakab Kidding Me will be getting the first pick, first ban. Towers of Doom. Another map where we see the prioritization on Dehakab again. Typically we see him in that top lane, and then he will burrow down for any sort of gank or kill. So that's one asset that we typically see come out. Now, in that last game, the Dehakab didn't get the value that I think they were expecting to get out of him. Mostly because of the fact that Zul just was constantly responding to Zul, which is just, it's such a hard thing to do, because when you're just responding to another hero, that's you're playing on their terms for the map, and that's typically that was what was happening the entire game. Excuse me. So we do have the Stukov being banned out here, and it looks like that it was. And I was saying that it wasn't going to be like that great of a first pick or a solo healer, or maybe I was just kind of thinking that maybe you go into something else. But the Stukov was just, the healing that he output last game was 50,000 versus the Ariel, which I think was 15,000. So, just quadrupling it, roughly. It's just such. It's insane play, but we are actually going to see the Dehakab being banned out here. That's interesting. Okay, so they're a little bit afraid of maybe what Dehakab offers on this map specifically. They just knew that if they had the Zul on Infernal Shrines, they wouldn't have to worry. That's going to be interesting. I like the ban. I'm just curious what they're going to be going into here on the side of Dehakab Kidding Me, because it looks like, I mean, with their name, they might play a lot of Dehakab. I wouldn't be too surprised. But this first pick, though. There's just a lot. Like, you can go into a Genji here. He provides a lot of good poke, but okay. They're going to go into the Falstead, so. I thought I heard something, but never mind. Right. Thought my doorbell was going off for a second there. But we do have the Ario being picked up here. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see her paired with that Vala. That's typically a combination we see together. That's the only thing that I can think that would really pair well together would be that combination of the Ariel and the Vala together. But you could also go into a Gul'dan. That's not a bad idea. But they're actually gonna go ahead and lock in that Varian. A lot of prioritization on Varian for Elusive Gaming. Looks like they're okay with going ahead and potentially giving away Vala if that is picked up here. Another hero we often see on this map as well is Gul'dan. He does provide really good fight and poke into these shrine fights. The corruption just does amazing damage. It looks like we're gonna have the Sonya for probably the solo lane and top paired into a Brightwing. So they're gonna go ahead and get a couple. Oh, I'm sorry, Sirius. I actually haven't changed any of my audio things, so I don't know why it might sound low. Either way, though, we are going into our next ban phase here. So on the side of Elusive Gaming, I was going to say, they're going to need a secondary tank for Dehakab Kidding Me, so it looks like they're going to go ahead ban out that Diablo. Reason being, on these shrine fights, he does excel at the fact that there are a lot of areas for him to get the charge and stun. So that is one thing that we can often see. Now, okay. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and ban out the Stitches here. I was going to say, because last game, I was going to start talking about how, like, maybe they should focus on... Because they already banned out the Stukov, which is really smart in my opinion, and... just banning out that Stitches is just another key player in that last game. Those hooks were phenomenal. So that's a smart ban on the side of the Dehakab Kiddin.
Chaos comes.
That's the reason why they chose the Varian. Okay. Because if they would have gone into the Vala, then it would have potentially showed for a Cho'Gall composition. The Varian kind of throws it off completely. I really like that, but they didn't ban out the Greymane, which is what you typically see. Now, here's the scary thing. They have everything they technically need, so they could just go into a secondary tank like an Nubarak, maybe? No, because they're going to need an auto attacker. So, honestly, a Joanna, again, wouldn't be horrible for the blind. They are going to need some sort of blind, but I definitely think they either need Malthael or Greymane here. They need that percentile damage from one of those two. The Curse Bullet from the Greymane or just the percentile that Malthael does, as well as the Tormented Souls.
I heed the voice of Elune.
We're going to go for a secondary healer and Muradin. I guess you can take the damage buff from the Tyrande. It's just I think that the Curse Bullet gets so much more value. And they're putting a lot of focus on that Falstad doing tons of damage. Or I mean, he can do tons of damage, but they're just it's a lot onto the Falstad. And honestly, I think if they took the Vala, that would have been good as well. They would have had a lot of rain. No, that would have been fine, honestly. And would have just prevented that. Granted, they could have gone Lunara, which I think that they should go into the Lunara here. The vision that she does provide, you get vision from Cho'Gall. You get vision from the Wisp from Ariel. Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't see. I'm sorry, someone in chat said incoming Cho'Gall, and that was just such a good call. I can't read your name because it's neon green, and it's just a blur of letters. I'm sorry, but you're correct. No, nice call. And we're actually gonna see the Nazeebo with that. So this is interesting. I like this. They're not even gonna go for the prioritization on the Vala or the Lunara here. This is gonna be interesting. I'm really interested. This is gonna be an interesting second game. But here we go into our second game. On the left-hand side, we have Dehakab Kidding Me with Carthon on Sonya, Deckerbro on Muradin, Casey Storm on Brightwing, Kobo on Tyrande, Warmonger on Falstad. And on the right-hand side, we have Elusive Gaming with Dead Fox Dan on Varian, Dragon Freer on Gall, I Like Men on Cho, Keldis on Ariel, and Skeptic on Nazeebo.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
Alright. Trying to reorganize my water cups here. I have so many of them. There we go. Okay.
The battle begins in 10 seconds.
Okay, so some of these first level talents.
5, 4.
We do have the
3,
Warpaint from the
2,
Sonya.
1.
We actually have Mage build from the Falstad.
Let the battle begin.
Spider build from the Nazeebo. Okay. So, into this second matchup we go. We do have the first Z-Type from Brightwing, so that cooldown reduction definitely trying to get that priority around the map as much as possible. We do have the Varian kind of hiding in the bush currently, maybe trying to get a pick. At this point, we will not be seeing one. We do have the Varian currently going up into the top lane. The Nazeebo will be going into bottom. And in mid, we're just going to have this Ariel Cho'Gall versus the Falstad Brightwing. They're putting two globals into one lane. It's just an interesting. Like, I don't know how I feel about the Tyrande in the bottom. It'll be an interesting matchup. the damage amplification could be extremely beneficial, but I'm not too sure. Like, I really think they needed one of those percentile damages against the Cho'Gall. Otherwise, I think they're going to run away with it. Polymorph. Yeah, is really, really powerful, but it's interferes from seconds, and there's also I believe there should be a cleanse as well that you can get. I think I'm not sure. Yeah, Ariel has a cleanse. I think Lucio's one of the only few heroes that doesn't have a cleanse. But at this point, we have pretty much kind of Nazeebo will be starting to push up into this lane quite a bit. He should hold control over this for the majority. But we do have this first altar phase popping up currently. On this top, I wouldn't be too surprised to see them just being traded out here. Looks like they're going to go ahead and put their variant over there. Lunara will go ahead and try... Not Lunara. Tyrande will go ahead and try and capture that middle. Nazeebo will go up and get the poke on her. And it looks like the rest of the... Actually, they get it... The Brightwing came in, they get it at the last second, so that's actually going to be 8 shots going over against Elusive Gaming. Nazeebo not being able to rotate up there in time. But we do have Forza on the side of Elusive Gaming. Just a slight, about a level lead here. Just due to the way that they've been laning up a little bit more. It is still 0-0 for Mills. I meant to hit that so we could all see the talents. Accidentally just hit one key. But yeah, also just a side note, like if you're ever doing observer stuff, if you hit the keys, they are just completely confusing. One key took me to Sonya, so if you look at the top bar, one takes you to the farthest one to the right. It's really wonky how it works. But either way, we do have this gate falling down in mid. In bottom, we currently just have, once again, the Nazeebo just pushing up, working on his and stacking. Looks like he's about getting close to about halfway through. No, he's past halfway through. Just about. For 1 second, I thought it was 80. I mean, yeah, like technically it is a 3v2 in mid, but at the same time it's still a 3v3 because Cho'Gall does count as 2, so you do have that extra damage coming out. But unfortunately, like that Falstead, like I don't know how I feel about the mage build. You know, as I'm learning more about some of these heroes and just a little bit more of like how you can optimize their damage and everything, it always seems like the auto attack build is the way to go. Mage build does get some value, but at the same time I think auto attack stacks better and damage leaking is way more powerful. We'll see. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I was wrong about the draft wrong about the game last time. I thought honestly the variant pick was going to be really weird and Lunara was going to be so strong, but looks like on this map we do have a lot of control on the side of Dehakab Kiddin, and they're going to go ahead and get this next bell tower. So it's going to be another 4 shots going over to Elusive Gaming. Polymorph onto the Cho'Gall. The bottom is going to be captured by the Nazeebo at the last second, and they will go ahead and get 4 shots in for Dehakab Kiddin. We do have the variant still in top lane. We have the Sonya kind of working down that middle. But this bottom lane is currently just getting forced in, and the Brightwing taking the bomb at the last second. The poor Fairy Dragon will be falling here. These bombs just being so dead on. We do have a rotation from the team. Looks like Nazeebo is now back into that bottom lane by himself. The boss currently is up at the 5-minute mark. So we're going to have this mid picked back up by the Cho'Gall Ariel combination. We do have Varian currently in that top camp working that down. He'll have to clear out this wave, but that is just a little bit more pressure. Looks like Cho'Gall will go ahead and push down this fort a little bit more in mid as well. About a level here before Elusive Gaming hits their 10s, and they have lost a couple of these altars, but they have benefited a lot more from getting all of this experience. Now we do have a collapse onto the Cho'Gall, but the whip from the Ariel will kind of push them away. It's Meriden jumping in, getting the stun as well, but the rest of the team hasn't really dove in for the follow damage. There's a stun onto the Cho'Gall. He's taking a significant amount here. It's like there is a barrel roll away for this Brightwing. It's actually the dash in, and actually Nazeebo rotated up as well, and they're actually going in even harder now. The bomb barely misses. They get the double stun onto him, onto Cho'Gall, and they're going to go ahead and have to back off here. But they do get that kill, and that will push them over to their 10s. With this altar being popped up, Nazeebo trying to just get one more spider. Oh, I know that feeling. Poor Nazebo 99 stacks. And a spider ain't one of them. But we do have this team posturing up, and with 10's already
The
picked
time
up.
is now,
I don't think they're going to be going into this too hard. They're going to go out. They tried to bait it for a second, but looks like the Dehakab Kiddin move knows that they're going to be giving that up, and they actually dive into that. The minion wave actually killing the false dead. Not I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. Twisted Nether. Getting that damage onto the false dead, getting that kill. Or excuse me, Sonya. My mistake. But we do have the Nazebo currently going back into that bottom lane. It's going to go up against this Tyrande here. And it looks like in mid they're going to go ahead and secure this fort as well. So that's a lot of good just map control currently on the side of Elusive Gaming. Now they are going into this top lane. They're pushing up quite a bit, and typically this is a little odd because typically we do see teams prioritize the bottom lane because there are the two camps that you can feed through there, as well as it creates a kind of chokehold if there is that bottom altar. The mid one, it isn't crazy hard to get to that middle altar, that middle lower altar, but it's still holding that point is really, really powerful. And Nazebo's just been working that down slowly. Now, in this top lane, they are going to go ahead and confirm this. Before the Sonya can actually mount, they go ahead and charge into her with the Shogal. They trade the top for the middle. We still have 5 shots, and it looks we should have the we should have the altar phase starting quite soon. We actually have a DC. So we'll go ahead and not show the map and move my mic to my talking position. So it's when I cast the game, I try and put it right in front of my face, so that way the audio quality is a little bit better. When we do these, they're a little bit more casual, so I don't have to. The audio is just a little bit lower, but there isn't a ton of music to yell over anything. Okay, sorry. Whew. We have a little banter going on right now, but overall, let's check into some of just these numbers here. Stats. All right, the Sonya just doing just so much. $51,000 in siege damage versus the Gaul, I think. Yeah. Doing 52,000. I mean, if this was just a game of numbers, like on the side of Elusive Gaming, they seem to be they're higher, but at the same time, like there hasn't been a ton of kills, but the game's pretty equal at this point. I'm a little torn because the game, it started really strong on the side of Dehakab Kidding me, but as we're kind of going into this game, I'm finding more and more that Elusive Gaming is starting to gain that momentum that we saw in the first game. And what I'm meaning by that is, like, they were down a little bit, but then I think they got they got a lot of good lane control as well as a lot of lane pushing, and they started getting these towers, which was really, really powerful for them because they gave up those couple altars and they said, beast ups my show. Yeah. Yeah, Murda, that happened. But they got so much value of just laning and giving up a little bit of those core shots, because at the same time, when you're playing Towers of Doom, you don't you don't need to worry. I'm just reading Twitch chat and just Hedgie, thank you. Just every time, it always gets me. With the level lead that they had, that definitely Time Warner Cable Strike again, yeah. They just have this aggressiveness that they can just push up constantly, and they can hold these altars because of the fact that they have the level advantage, the talent advantage. Right now it's 11 to 13, so there's two level difference as well as a talent tier advantage. So it's just really, really difficult. And I'm sorry, Connor. He is right. Mods do get priority because I show my favoritism. But it looks like we. they're even giving away notes here, talking about how in future note ban Varian against us. All right, well, anyone who ends up playing Elusive Gaming, just make sure you always ban Varian. All right, though. But yeah, I show my favoritism to my my mods. They get all the favoritism. All right, we are going back into this game here. We do have a rotation coming out into this bottom lane. They could potentially be going up against this Nazebo here. Maybe even going for a pick. But once they get this, once they get that camp, excuse me, it'll kind of show exactly where the rest of the team is, because they have been hiding out a little bit here. And at the same time, with them going ahead and getting that, they're going to actually get this boss up in top, and that's 4 shots going up against Dehakab. Kidding me. We do have another altar phase starting up in about 20 seconds here, and this Nazebo's getting so low. The spiders do go out. Do they get the counter kill? The Gargi? No, the Tyrande will be just the Nazebo right there. So that will be the top. The top fort is going to be falling back down. They're going to actually be looking to go ahead and pick this middle one up before this altar phase here. Now, Falstad is going to the aggressive point, and they do see this, so they go ahead and they go right onto the enemy team. Falstad will go ahead and just capture that. We do have the Twisted Nether coming out from the Dehakab here. They're going to go ahead and focus down this Tyrande. Twisted Nether finally doing the damage. I'm trying to see both the fights here, but it looks like the Tyrande should be falling. At this point, we do have the Varian taking so much damage from that slow, that stun. The Muradin jumping in here. They will be getting the kill onto him. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. Now they do have this really, really good pressure. Nazebo is in bottom. And they probably should see that on the minimap. They go onto this Ariel, and unfortunately they get the kill on their follow detected. Well, thank you so much for the follow. But it looks like this Cho'Gall will be able to get away. So I feel like they could have got a little bit. They could have dove him a little bit harder. This Cho'Gall is actually just kind of cutting him around. We actually have the Wrath of the Blizzard coming up from center. There's the pull that she needed. She is going to go ahead, and unfortunately they will not get the kill onto him. He actually kind of chased them around a little bit there, or kited them around a little bit there, and they definitely got away. Now Nazebo has been pushing his bottom quite a bit. It's really, really good that they have been doing that. And they're going to go ahead and push this mid, get these bell towers back, and we're going to see once again these going solo, trying to fight underneath this tower. Now this is a huge dive. The rest of the team is coming in here. The Gust back. They are going to have to rotate around here through this point. Twisted Nether is active. He is so low, but he is met by the Ariel, who gives him the crown. Ariel does have Crystal Aegis still at this point, if that is something that they do need to do. But the Cho'Gall, actually the Ariel falling extremely low here. Do have a rotation from the Variant Hunt right around the wall. We do have the Sonya currently actually backing off the Ariel, going back onto the team. They go into this Variant, who will get the protected status, be able to get away by the towers. They're going to go ahead and re-enter this team fight. But they actually push these guys into the corner with the Cho'Gall's hammer there. It is going to be the kill onto the Muradin. Do they chase this Sonya onto the tower? The bomb does go out, and they actually get the kill with it. And I should just look this up. It's the Hammer of the Twilight, or Hammer of Twilight. So it's they actually kind of turned that chase around at one point. It all started with Cho'Gall like 1v5ing. They actually get the Gust away, but unfortunately does not get the value that he was hoping for. We do have a triple altar phase at this point. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Elusive Gaming honestly try and go for all 3 of these. The Sonya is coming back. There is no middle point that they can really dive through just yet. They have good vision on this altar over here. Varian's already ready to go pick up the right-hand side, so he can rotate in. All they need to do is delay this. Bottom is going to be interesting. We're going to just go ahead. So they get the right-hand side. Looks like Varian will be coming over. They're going to actually get the flank from the Falstad. The whip does go up from the Ariel. She does actually Crystal Aegis herself just to buy a little bit of time. The Varian does come in. Starts to chase away the Sonya, who did pop Wrath of the Berserker. Now in bottom, just want to note this. The Nazebo is chasing that Tyrande. They get the kill onto the Falstad. Looks like they're going to go ahead and get that as well. They get the tower and the Tyrande kill. They're chasing into these gates in the death zone. They're trying to keep this Cho'Gall there for a little bit of time. The whip from the Ariel actually saves the Sonya. But either way, they are just holding these lanes so well. And they're actually going to go ahead, capture that bottom. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and get this mid and start the barrage onto the core. And they're going to go ahead and take this aggressive rotation here through the death zone just to get onto this Brightwing. Hammer of Twilight goes out and just they're honestly just they're just slowing the game down. Looks like there's gonna be a Z from the Brightwing. I don't know if they're gonna be able to burn this down in time. This is going to be just. So bottom looks like they might be able to stop it in time. They stop it in time. Wow. But also with that cackle, it also means that the boss is currently up. So that is another threat that's currently on the map. There's 1 point left on the side of Dehakab Kiddin. There's 2 ways to end it. They can get a camp and walk it in, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and get this boss. And they're going to say, team fight us. They're going to go ahead and zone out with the Cho'Gall. Variant, I'm just trying to see everything on the map here. They do have that boss control with the False Dead Gust. Oh, no, actually, it's in 15 seconds. They actually pulled this out. Are they just trying to fight them here? We're going to take away the bottom here. Looks like they're going to go ahead and try and fight them. They actually get the kill onto the Cho'Gall. Variant's just waiting. That is going to be the boss captured. That is going to be GG's called out. Second game going over to Elusive Gaming, and the series is won by them. GG, well played.